So what we need to do now is we need to look at rendering our dice project. We need to render the image. So now we've learned how to use some of the different tools. What we're going to be looking at is now rendering images. So if we click on this arrow on the design and click on render, we've got design, generate design, render, animation, simulation, manufacture, drawing. Now don't want to worry about too much about all of this. Mainly what I want you to look at is the design, the render and the drawing. We'll look at the drawing later, but let's look at the render for now. So click on render. And it will come up like this. Now what we can do is we can add a nice appearance to our dice. We don't have to have a plain appearance. We can click on the appearance and we can change what it looks like at the moment. So appearance, this is what's going to come up. And at the moment we're going to apply it to the bodies and components, so that's going to apply to the whole thing. It's not going to, if we click on faces, we can apply it to direct faces, but we will just have it on the bodies and components. So if we scroll down, you've got a different bunch of options. We've got concrete, fabric, glass, liquid, metal, mirror, paint, plastic, wood, whatever you want. So if I click on the paint, for example, and go to glossy paint and select whatever I want to select, so maybe the green. So maybe the green, that was the bell, don't worry about that. Click on the green and click on that. We have got a nice green color now. Now we don't have to do that kind of paint. We don't have to do green, we don't have to do paint. We could do probably maybe maybe if we want to look at something else, maybe we want to do a metal. If we look at the metal, aluminium metal, and maybe a nice red aluminium glossy metal. That's what it looks like as that one. You can play around with it. You can have a look at different what you have here. Maybe if I go to timber instead of, maybe go to wood instead of, where is wood gone? Hold on. There it is, wood. Let's have a look at what we've got in here. Maybe you've got a nice pine or a nice walnut or mahogany, yeah. Pine, walnut timber maybe. Oh, that's a bit dark. It's alright. Maybe the cherry instead then. And it's just a nice little, yeah, whatever you want to do for it. I'm going to put mine at maybe just a green paint. Let's just do that. So I've selected my paint. I can close that now, and this is what I've got. So when I render the image, I have to know what I'm rendering. So I'll go to the house, and I'm rendering this right here. So if I'm like this, I'm going to render it like, if I'm not on the correct view, I'm going to be rendering it like this. I don't want to render it like this. I want to render it in the isometric view. So I have to click on the house before I start rendering it. So this is what I'm rendering here. So I've got in canvas render. This is what I want to click on. Don't worry about this one. Click on this in canvas render with the play. Now what's going to happen is it's going to start rendering. And at the moment, when it gets to excellent, it's not going to be excellent. It's just going to be pretty, it's still going to be pretty, it's not going to be very high resolution still. So I'm going to drag this to infinite. And the more iterations it runs through, the higher the resolution of the image. And I find that when it gets to final, it's still not really that high resolution. So to get a really, really high resolution, you need to wait for it to be at like 100 or 150. But that's going to take forever. That's going to take a long time, especially with your laptops. The laptops are not very great. They're very, very slow, the students' laptops. So. Okay, so you can see that took quite a while. It's at infinite at the moment, but it's still not very high resolution. It's only 153 iterations of, it's only 154 now. That's still not very high, but I can just finish it off there. If you want to wait for longer, you can. You can wait for yours to get to 100 or 150 and you can have a super high resolution image, but that's up to you. I'll just stop it right here and I'll show you the image that you get from it. So stop. And if I go save, so capture image, so I want to capture the image, and we can select what what we want. So what the size of our image is going to be. I'll just go 500 top of 512. Sure, why not? Okay. And it's going to ask me to save it. So I'll put in Dice Project and I'll say Dice Project rendered image, Dice Project rendered image. And I can save it as a PNG, a JPEG or a TIFF. I find TIFF is usually the highest resolution, but I'll just save it as a PNG, why not? Save to my computer, so it says here save to computer. Let's save to the computer and find your Tyndall OneDrive, and your Digital Technologies folder. Now inside your Digital Technologies folder, you should have a CAD file folder or a Dice Project folder, and that's where you're going to save all of this stuff to. But I haven't created a folder for that at the moment, so I'll just save it in here. So Dice Project tutorial rendered image, so I save it as that. So save and click on save, and here it is right here. This is the image. You can see it's not very high resolution because I didn't wait that long. If I waited longer, it would be even higher, but this is what I've got at the moment. So good, that's how you render images in Fusion. So if I go back to design, I can also show you how to save it as a Fusion 360 folder, a Fusion 360 file. So if I go save, no, not that, that's the wrong one. If I go file and export, I can save it directly to my computer as a Fusion 360 file. So I'll show you. If I go export, so what I want, file, export, and if I Autodesk Fusion archive files, this is what I want. I want it as an archive file, and I want to save it directly to my computer. So if I put Dice Project in there, and if I select the folder I want to save it into, so find Tyndall OneDrive again, and then find Digital Tech 2024, and find what I want to save it as, and just click on that and go export. So now what I've done is I've saved this as a Fusion 360 file. So instead of opening up Fusion 360 and then finding the file, I can just directly click on it and I can just work on it from there.